Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
There's a system that moves off our coastline with a 10% chance of becoming tropical, but up until then, warm and dry. We'll show you how long that lasts and give you a timeline of Thursday rain coming up.
And student lunch prices. Today, Wake County school leaders will consider upping meal costs, how this would make up for possible funding shortfalls.
And curbing teen vaping. The efforts today at the state legislature to raise the minimum age for tobacco sales. Why this would be a step toward matching federal laws. A lot of stories that we're covering, especially at the state capitol today, but we'll dive into those in just a second. First, we want to welcome you here to WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovington.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, Tuesday, not quite halfway through the week yet, but we are at Tuesday. Another nice start out there. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is out on the weather patio. A little bit of a chill in the air this morning.
A little bit. We'll enjoy it as long as we can. Meanwhile, looking ahead to Thursday, there's a 10% chance of a system becoming tropical off our coastline within the next 2 to 7 days. So that's a very low chance, but it is a system that gives us an increasing shot at some rain on Thursday. We've bumped up chances for now, and if trends continue, we'll continue to bump up our chances. But meanwhile, a separate system Saturday will give us another shot of showers and storms. For the next 2 days, we are mostly dry. Starting out beautifully this morning, temperatures have risen pretty quickly. We're already at 64 in the Triangle, Fayetteville 62, Roxborough, lucky you, you're at 55 degrees. Really nice out there. Rocky Mount Wilson at about 60. Nice morning to take the cup of coffee outside. By midday, you're already looking at temperatures near 80 degrees. So it's a quick spike in temperatures compared to where we were just an hour or two ago. Sunny and warm. So if you liked yesterday, you're going to love today. High temperatures across the board, about 83 to 87 degrees. We'll time out some of that Thursday rain and show you when that map has more 90s on it coming up soon.
All right, we continue to follow that breaking news on the northern loop of the Beltline. This situation right here, this serious crash in the westbound lanes near Glenwood Avenue. At one point, that entire section of the northern loop of the Beltline between Glenwood Avenue and Six Forks Road were completely shut down. But right now, just one lane remains closed as Raleigh police investigate that crash. Those are the eastbound lanes moving away from us. You can see the westbound lanes coming through. So at least 3 lanes of traffic might be getting through, and that crash probably off to the side of the road. Right now, this crash is in the clearing phase in I-540 at Aviation Parkway. You can see the state troopers still there on the scene. But I know many of you use I-540 as an alternate route. Right now, you're looking at a 13-minute delay between Lewisburg Road and I-40 this morning. So, yeah, it might be a situation that you might want to avoid the Beltline anyway because of that situation there on I-440 westbound near Glenwood Avenue. In terms of other routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 16-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest this morning, Capitol Boulevard, if you will. The 11 minutes, I-85, you're coming in because there was a disabled vehicle there on the eastbound lanes of I-85 coming into the Bull City. You get ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Prices could go up for your student in the Wake County school lunch line. Today, school leaders will consider upping meal prices. WRAL's Laura Levine is at the Wake County Schools headquarters. And Laura, this is being considered to help ease possible financial shortcomings.
The school board has raised prices for meals the past 3 years in a row. So now let's take a look at where things stand. For elementary school, lunch is $3.50. And for middle and high school student lunches, well, that's about $3.75. So here today, district leaders aren't proposing a specific cost increase, but they're warning of a possible revenue shortfall. The district's Child Nutrition Services Department has for years struggled to break even and projected a potential $3 million shortfall in revenue last year. Officials have blamed ongoing financial challenges on rising supply costs, rising wages, insufficient federal reimbursements, plus declining rates of families actually buying meals at school.
There'll be a few other things that they'll be able to discuss at the board meeting. Is there anything we can do differently with picking entrees or having things delivered that might also cut down on costs?
School leaders here today at this work session will take a look at 9 different revenue scenarios, which also includes possibly a 10-cent per meal increase. That would generate about $229,000, and a 25-cent per meal increase, which could generate $555,000. That work session begins at 2:30 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
Your Wake County tax bill will be going up. County leaders included a new property tax increase as part of the county's $2 billion budget. This was approved last night, and one tax increase will cost the average Wake County homeowner a little less than $5 annually. This will give an extra $5.3 million to public schools, and that's on top of the current $740 million contribution to schools. It was paid for by the tax increase, plus cutting 12 new EMS positions and slicing funding for a new affordable housing program in half.
Once again, we're being asked to pit public safety and affordable housing against public education. That is a false and dangerous choice, and one we should refuse.
If the choice is inadequate funding for schools or us finding a way to help as much as we can, we're going to continue to find a way to help as much as we can.
The final vote was 6-1 at the Wake County Board of Commissioners meeting, and 2 other tax increases are included. One to pay for a voter-approved library bond, and homeowners in unincorporated Wake County and Wendell will pay an additional $70 per year in taxes to pay for new fire stations.
An effort to stop teen vaping is being renewed at the state legislature today. Leaders are working to make North Carolina laws match federal regulations. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the state legislative building in Raleigh, where they will consider raising, Kelsey, the legal age to buy these tobacco products.
Yes, Michelle, state lawmakers will be meeting here at the state legislative building in the next couple of hours to talk about changes to tobacco laws. They're working to keep your kids away from vapes. This morning, legislators are discussing 2 bills that are designed to help curb teen vaping. On average, at least 3 students vape in every high school classroom in our state. That's according to the state health department. North Carolina lawmakers are working to change the legal age for tobacco products from 18 to 21. That would make our state law compliant to federal regulations. North Carolina is one of 7 states that has not passed a law to raise the age. State lawmakers also want to implement a tobacco retail sales permit. That would be used to keep track of who's selling vapes. Lawmakers will host a news conference this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And the WRAL documentary team has covered teen vaping in Wake County. WRAL went undercover to see if anyone would ID a young person trying to buy a vape. Watch Gen V teen vaping in North Carolina on WRAL.com. It's in the documentary section.
The FBI is offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to arrest in a Catawba County mass shooting. A 58-year-old man was killed and 11 others were injured when shots were fired at a house party near Hickory early Sunday morning. Several agencies are investigating this, including the Catawba County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, and SBI too. They're asking anyone who has video of that shooting to send it to the FBI.
Today, the suspect in that attack on protesters in Boulder, Colorado, will be back in court, and we're seeing new video of the attack this morning. Be warned, it is disturbing. The new video shows the suspect throwing a Molotov cocktail at pro-Israeli protesters. 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon is charged with federal hate crime. He also faces multiple counts of first-degree murder. The FBI says Solomon had been planning the attack for a year and was waiting until after his daughter graduated to conduct it.
Raleigh City Council is hosting a public hearing tonight to discuss the proposed budget. Last month, the city put forth a near $2 billion proposal, and that included pay raises for city employees, such as an 11% pay raise for police and firefighters. The budget would also keep the current property tax rate the same. Tonight's meeting will be held at the Raleigh Municipal Meeting on West Hargett Street at 7 o'clock.
Towing companies could soon face new oversight to make sure they're not preying on local drivers. Today, a state House committee plans to debate the new rules. Towing companies could be banned from operating if they break the rules. The proposed state towing commission would also set the rates towing companies could charge. Last year, WRAL Investigates reported on a series of complaints about alleged predatory practices by some towing companies in our area. A similar version of this bill was also filed last year following those reports.
Durham Mayor Leonardo Williams is holding a press conference this evening, and he's expected to announce funding for more than a dozen youth organizations as part of the city's Bull City Future Fund. The fund was announced in August of last year, and the city says it is intended to help programs that work with vulnerable youth and people who are struggling to make ends meet.
As hurricane season starts, we'll get an update today on how Duke Energy plans to keep your power on through large storms. Duke Energy will share how they're working to strengthen and improve the grid. They'll hold a news conference at 10 o'clock this morning, showing off their line working team and self-healing grid technology. The company says it has more than double the number of customers served by self-healing technology.
Just a heads up, starting today, a road in Chatham County is closing for the next several months. Suttles Road near US 64 in Pittsboro will be closed to traffic, and that's so crews can complete the Chatham Parkway Connection project. The people behind this effort say they're working with emergency services and Chatham County schools to keep disruptions to a minimum. The road closure is expected to last into November.
Airport Security Union, a judge blocked the Trump administration's efforts to end collective bargaining for TSA employees. Why the temporary block was put in place.
And a kitten thrown away. A Raleigh couple saved a kitten tossed out of a moving car. In an interview you will see only on WRAL the effort to save that cat.
And this morning, starting out comfortably out on the WRAL weather patio, we'll show you how long this low humidity lasts and why rain chances Thursday are starting to creep up a little bit. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes. Welcome back. We'll start you out with a live view of the WRAL Azalea Gardens. Right behind me, it looks and feels fantastic out here. If you have the day off, might be a good day to come out, take some pictures here at the gardens. Out the door, starting out comfortably with temperatures right now in the low to mid 60s. Cooler start to the morning than we had yesterday, but temperatures rising quickly today. This doesn't necessarily set the tone for the rest of the day. In fact, we'll be warmer this afternoon than we were yesterday. Durham and Raleigh, looking at a high temperature in the mid 80s, Fayetteville in the mid to upper 80s, and that southwest breeze brings our humidity up ever so slightly throughout the day today. But it'll still be a nice day to go to some of the neighborhood pools today and tomorrow. Now, much of tomorrow is dry, but Thursday rain chances are starting to creep up. There's a system offshore that has only a 10% chance of turning tropical, but regardless of that, brings an increase in rain chances. We'll time those out for you coming up shortly. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got some good news to report on the northern loop of the Beltline. We just heard from Raleigh Police, and this crash is off to the side, off to the shoulder of the road. So things are definitely beginning to ease there, but you can still see the lingering delay stretching all the way back to I-87. But you can see traffic is really beginning to ease out on both directions there on the northern loop of the Beltline. Also, you see at the southern loop of the Beltline, there's heavy congestion as well. I just checked the sensors. You're looking at a 10 to 12 minute delay, so keep that in mind as you're about to head out.
Ken, thank you. An actor known for his role in King of the Hill was shot and killed at his home in Texas. Police say Jonathan Joss Gonzalez was found dead in the road in front of his home. Police have arrested Sigfredo Alvarez Ceja, who is now charged with murder. Law enforcement believes that the shooting stems from a dispute between the two neighbors. Joss's husband says the shooter shouted homophobic slurs at the couple before opening fire. Joss played John Redcorn on King of the Hill from seasons 2 through 13. A new revival of the hit show is set to hit Hulu in August. Police said their investigation was ongoing.
A federal ruling temporarily upholds airport security workers' ability to unionize. A federal judge delayed an order from the Trump administration ending a collective bargaining agreement with TSA workers. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem rescinded the 7-year collective bargaining agreement back in January, and the judge says Noem failed to explain why she was ending that agreement.
Multiple sources say staff at the Federal Emergency Management Agency were left surprised when the agency's new acting head said he did not know the U.S. had a hurricane season. David Richardson reportedly made comments during a briefing yesterday. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson says it was said in jest, but some staffers are concerned since Richardson has no prior experience managing natural disasters. Richardson is a former Marine, combat veteran, and martial arts instructor.
Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center getting some brand new information out of Cumberland County this morning. They may decide the fate of the Crown Event Center this week. This is a report from City View. I've been looking at some of the details here, and it says that at the county commissioners meeting, the regular Board of Commissioners meeting that happened Monday morning, yesterday, they talked about putting the stalled $145 million Crown Event Center performing arts venue, all that information in downtown Fayetteville. Just letting the public know what is going to happen with this, because it's been on again, off again, as we have reported over the past several months. They got a report during this meeting that talked about the construction expense, the parking, and the cost to rehab old venues. Just some more details there, as this has been stopped, and they want to share from this report as much of it with the public, since it is a matter of public record and $145 million at stake.
Investment in that facility. Thank you, Jeff. This morning, a presidential election is underway in South Korea, and people are at the polls for the snap election months after the ousting of President Yoon Suk-yeol. Yoon is on trial for rebellion charges, and that's because he placed the country under martial law back in December, you may recall. Re-election surveys suggest that Lee Jae-myung is set to win.
Walt Disney Company is planning to cut several hundred jobs in the latest round of layoffs. The company says the layoffs are primarily jobs that work in marketing for movies and TV, publicity, casting, and development. Corporate finance was also impacted. This, as the company says, its goal is to operate more efficiently. It's just the latest round of job eliminations that have become commonplace since Bob Iger returned to lead the company back in 2022.
The FDA has approved a new COVID vaccine from Moderna for people over the age of 65. The new vaccine is called mNEX Spike. People ages 12 to 64 with at least one underlying condition can also receive the dose. And this is happening days after the federal government unveiled a new regulatory approach to future standards for COVID vaccines.
It was a roadside rescue after a 7-week-old kitten was thrown from a moving car. It happened on Tryon Road in Raleigh. Kenzie Tizen describes the moment that she saw the driver of a black Honda Pilot just toss that kitten out of the car.
He was coming pretty full speed this way and just chunked him out the window right behind this fence.
My goodness, she and her boyfriend, Grayson Harmon, did what they could to nurse kitten Kai back to health. Then they took him to the SPCA of Wake County. There, they were able to confirm Kai had no broken bones or internal injuries. Now Kai is in a good foster home.
Graduation ceremonies are continuing this week in Cumberland County. Happening today, 5 different high school classes will be gathering throughout the day at Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville. 9 more schools will host ceremonies at the Coliseum on Wednesday and Thursday, too. Information on the ceremony schedules can be found on the Cumberland County Schools website.
Some say the owl is the most studious bird, but in Morrisville, it's a hawk. Morrisville firefighters were called to the community library yesterday to remove a bird. A confused hawk mistook the reading room for the great outdoors. The fire department says despite not having a library card, the hawk made himself quite at home among the stacks. He was safely taken outside. My goodness. All right, let's get outside where meteorologist Chris Michaels is on the WRAL weather patio. Beautiful sunny day, but you're looking to this system.
Yeah, this system that's going to be off the East Coast over the course of the next couple of days. It only has a 10% chance of becoming tropical or getting a name. Limited time of frame over Atlantic waters, and some dry air Thursday coming in from the Sahara Desert should prevent it from getting a name. But regardless, we're looking at rising rain chances here Thursday. I'll start you out with tomorrow evening, and you see some of those clouds moving in, getting a little bit thicker heading into Thursday morning. Tomorrow night, I could see there being a few light rain showers in our southernmost counties, and then by 6 a.m. Thursday, those same places probably seeing that chance for rain. After 9 a.m. Thursday, that's when I think we start to see more scattered showers and thunderstorms drifting in from south to north, with there being the potential for some localized flooding right now east of I-95. That risk is officially considered to be low, and we certainly hope it stays that way. Meanwhile, high pressure is going to keep us dry for the next couple of days. You see, it's really preventing that system from coming in. It's preventing another one from coming in farther to the west. And in the meantime, we are warm. We are just downright beautiful right now. A live look from our tower in Garner shows a little bit of that haze. Temperatures mainly in the 60s. Rocky Mount at 60, Fayetteville 62, Durham 64, but Roxborough cool at 55. So the workout's going to feel good today. We are going to break a sweat heading into the afternoon. Humidity still within a manageable range and high temperatures today in the middle 80s. So we'll add on to some of the warmth that we felt out there yesterday. Highs tomorrow, they'll still be in the 80s. Cloud cover may prevent us from getting too hot. Thursday, low to mid 80s with more showers and storms. Friday, in between systems, and then hot in the low 90s Saturday with scattered storms by the evening.
All right, Chris, happening now with the WRAL Traffic Center. A handful of troubled spots, including the northern and southern loop of the Beltline, the southern and northern loop of the Beltline. This crash is really in the clearing phase, made off to the shoulder of the road, but you can see the huge delays it's still causing there on the northern loop of the Beltline. Here's a live look at I-440 and Glenwood Avenue. You can see traffic is beginning to move along very nicely, but that delay stretches all the way back to New Bern Avenue, even all the way back to I-87, coming off those lanes coming in from Knightdale. But you can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic, those westbound lanes, and the lingering delays from that crash. That's really in the clearing phase. Many of you use I-540 as an alternate route. Not good news to report there, because between Lewisburg Road and I-40, you're looking at a 24-minute delay. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other if you're getting ready to head out.
All right, thank you, Ken. Lunch line price hike. Your Wake County student meals could cost more. Why school leaders are considering that change today.
Plus, the vaping debate. State lawmakers considering a bill that would raise the age of sale for tobacco and vaping products. We'll break down this issue next.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Let's get outside to meteorologist Chris Michaels. He's out on the WRAL weather patio. A beautiful start to our Tuesday.
Very nice and warming quickly. Temperatures over the past hour or so have really spiked. We're in the mid 60s, but out here on the patio feeling a little bit warmer. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit of haze, and the humidity's within a tolerable range. And the warm up continues through the afternoon today. We'll see highs in the mid 80s across the triangle, mid to upper 80s as you head into the Sandhills. Meanwhile, we keep an eye on a system that moves off the east coast. Only a 10% of it becoming tropical, but a better chance of it giving us rain. We'll time it out over on Fox 50. Ken?
All right, Chris, we're staying on the northern loop of the Beltline, and even though this crash, we're told by Raleigh police, is cleared, it's still showing up on the icon, but you can still see the huge lingering delays it's causing all the way back to I-87 this morning. Even though we look at I-440 Glenwood Avenue, it appears that traffic is moving along rather nicely this morning, but it's a situation where it's you see the lingering delays stretching all the way back to I-440 and New Bern Avenue this morning. Even the southern loop of the Beltline, I just checked the sensors there, and you're looking at a 10 to 12 minute delay.
Thanks, Ken. Leaders with Wake County schools will consider raising the price of school lunches today during a work session. Officials blame a number of financial issues, including rising supply costs and wages. This would be the third year in a row the district has raised prices. And the FBI is offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to arrests in a Catawba County mass shooting. One person was killed, 11 others were hurt when shots were fired at a party early Sunday morning. Law enforcement is asking anyone who has video of the shooting to send it to the FBI. Next on Fox 50, state lawmakers considering changes to laws surrounding vape products.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Enjoying the nice weather on the patio while it lasts. We're tracking a system off the coast that brings in the chance for rain. We'll show you when, and we'll show you when the thermometer climbs to near 90 degrees. Coming up.
And a possible lunch price increase. Today, Wake County parents could learn if they might pay more for school meals, the reason behind this effort, and when a decision could be made.
Age limit change. A push today to tighten tobacco and vape laws. What it means for teenagers and what's driving that move. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Taco Tuesday here on WRAL News and Fox 50. People thought I forgot, I didn't. It's Taco Tuesday. I'm Chris Lovington.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's Taco Tuesday in our house every Tuesday. Doesn't matter. It's always Taco Tuesday. I love it. All right, it might be nice to have Taco Tuesday outside later because it's a beautiful start to our Tuesday. Meteorologist Chris Michaels on the weather patio.
Yeah, can we get a Blackstone out here and actually make that happen? I'm in support of Taco Tuesday, not necessarily in support of this. A 10% chance of tropical development off the East Coast. So those chances are very low. It's highly unlikely that we get a named storm at this point in the game, but it is becoming more likely that we see some rain. Part of the reason why we don't expect this to become a tropical storm or a hurricane is because there's some Saharan dust that's coming in. That just kind of puts some dry air into the atmosphere that tends to limit these tropical systems from getting going. So over the course of the next 2 days, you have plenty of time to get outside, do some outdoor chores, or maybe head to the pool with the kids. But by Thursday, rain becoming possible, actually becoming a little more likely the more and more that we look at the data coming in. By Friday, we're in between systems, so we're mostly dry then. Saturday, a separate system taps into the heat and humidity and gives us a chance for some of those typical storms. Live look over North Hills, no storms to be tracking right now. Plenty of sunshine and a little bit of haze with temperatures in and around the triangle ranging between about 58 and 64. Feels nice and comfortable. Temperatures rising quickly, however. I had to ditch the jacket already this morning, and I'm sure the kids will at summer camp this afternoon with highs in the mid 80s. We'll show you when rain puts a little bit of damper on those summer camps coming up in just a little bit.
Chris, happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. We just got reports of Raleigh police might be working a crash between a motorcyclist and a dump truck. It's on New Bern Avenue. I'll keep an eye on that and let you know if that's going to affect your morning commute and exactly what's going on there. We know that this crash on westbound I-440 is in the clearing phase, really in the shoulder of the road, but you can see the lingering delays it's causing all the way back to I-87. Right now, you're looking at I-440 and Glenwood Avenue. Traffic flowing nicely in both directions, but look at this. This is the lingering delay that stretches all the way back to I-440 and New Bern Avenue this morning, just bumper to bumper traffic. Many of you use I-540 as an alternate route. Right now, you're looking at a 17-minute delay between Lewisburg Road and I-40 this morning. So 6 of one, half dozen of another in terms of that being an alternate route. In terms of the southern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 9-minute delay. That's around Lake Wheeler Road, Gorman Street, and a 9-minute delay. But you're coming in from Johnston County free and clear this morning. How about the other major routes coming into the capital city? In 9 minutes if you're coming in from Wake Forest, just for 5 minutes coming in from Knightdale. Over in Durham, we had a delayed vehicle on I-40 eastbound causing quite a bit of delay, but you can still see it's still causing a 12-minute delay if you're coming in from Hillsborough this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Parents have to pay attention here. Your child's school lunch price could go up in Wake County again. District leaders will review the possible price hike today. And WRAL's Laura Levine explains what's behind the new possible increase and how it could affect you.
The school board has raised prices for meals the past 3 years in a row. So now let's take a look at where things stand. For elementary school, lunch is $3.50. And for middle and high school student lunches, well, that's about $3.75. So here today, district leaders aren't proposing a specific cost increase, but they're warning of a possible revenue shortfall. The district's Child Nutrition Services Department has for years struggled to break even and projected a potential $3 million shortfall in revenue last year. Officials have blamed ongoing financial challenges on rising supply costs, rising wages, insufficient federal reimbursements, plus declining rates of families actually buying meals at school.
The school district has struggled in recent years with having enough revenues to offset the costs in their school nutrition department. It's worth remembering that these departments are kind of operated independently, a little bit more like restaurants. You know, they can't run a deficit.
School leaders here today at this work session will take a look at 9 different revenue scenarios, which also includes possibly a 10-cent per meal increase. That would generate about $229,000 and a 25-cent per meal increase, which could generate $555,000. That work session begins at 2:30 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
The first ever cell phone policy for the Wake County School Board is up for a final vote tonight. It would require phones to be silenced and put away. Plus, smartwatches would have to be disconnected from smartphones. There would be some exceptions, though, for students with certain health needs and other scenarios. The policy would go into effect next school year. And you can learn more at the education section of WRAL.com.
And covering Wake County, your tax bill will be going up. County leaders approved a new property tax increase as part of the county's latest $2 billion budget. The budget approved yesterday provides more than $740 million to Wake County Public Schools. The increase was paid for by a tax increase plus cuts to EMS positions and a housing program. Two other tax increases are included, one to pay for a voter-approved library bond, another to help pay for new fire stations. And new legislation could affect who can buy tobacco and vape products. A group plans to push for those changes this morning in Raleigh. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the effort to keep teens from vaping.
State lawmakers will come here to the legislative building later this morning to talk about changes to tobacco laws. They're working to keep your kids away from vapes. This morning, legislators are discussing two bills that are designed to help curb teen vaping. On average, at least 3 students vape in every high school classroom in our state. That's according to the state health department. North Carolina lawmakers are working to change the legal age for tobacco products from 18 to 21. That would make our state law compliant to federal regulations. North Carolina is one of 7 states that has not passed a law to raise the age. State lawmakers also want to implement a tobacco retail sales permit. That would be used to help keep track of who's selling vapes. Lawmakers will host a news conference this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
The town of Zebulon is looking for a new town commissioner, and Commissioner Beverly Clark announced her resignation last night after 24 years of service. Zebulon residents recently started a petition that calls on half of the Board of Commissioners to resign. Clark says she signed that petition herself. In an interview with WRAL, Clark says she's unhappy with how the board is working together, and she believes new leadership is needed.
It's the way we're working, the way we're handling motions or putting things on hold and not getting through a lot.
Earlier this year, both the town manager and assistant town manager handed in their resignations just days apart.
Today, the suspect in that attack on protesters in Boulder, Colorado, will be back in court, and we are seeing new video of the attack this morning. Be warned, it is disturbing to watch. The new video shows the suspect throwing a Molotov cocktail at pro-Israeli protesters. 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon is charged with a federal hate crime. He also faces multiple counts of first-degree murder. According to the FBI, Solomon had been planning the attack for a year and was waiting until his daughter graduated to conduct that attack.
This afternoon, state lawmakers plan to debate repealing the state's concealed carry requirements. And under the proposal up for debate today, almost anyone could legally carry a concealed gun as long as they are 18 or older. No training, no background checks would be required anymore. Some law enforcement leaders oppose this idea, and so do most Democratic politicians. But GOP leaders in the state legislature see this as a priority. The herbal substance kratom could become harder to get under a proposal in a House committee today. Some say that the psychoactive substance can help people fight opioid addiction, but others say the drug can be harmful or even deadly. Kratom is available in many gas stations and convenience stores in the state, and the proposal would not necessarily make it an illegal substance, but it would limit its sale to people 21 and up. It would also require retailers to pay for a license to sell kratom. The proposal could get a vote in the State House later this week.
Durham Mayor Leonardo Williams is holding a press conference this evening. He's expected to announce funding for more than a dozen youth organizations as part of the city's Bull City Future program. The fund was announced in August of last year. The city says it's intended to help programs that work with vulnerable youth and people who are struggling to make ends meet. And Durham County Commissioners holding one of their final budget work sessions this morning at 9 o'clock in about 20 minutes from now. Last month, the county manager put forth a $1.03 billion budget, which included an increase in the county tax rate, a pay raise for employees, and a $10 million increase in the budget for county schools. The county manager is expected to deliver the final recommended budget at next week's meeting. Time now is 8:40. Too much tax. A viewer had a question about their car tax, and 5 on your side crunched the numbers. A closer look at whether the state is charging more than it should.
And the first tropical storm system of the season could be forming. We're going to show you Florida's severe weather and what's still ahead this week.
And here's a live look at Durham from the WRAL Live Cam Network. Plenty of sunshine this morning. Meteorologist Chris Michaels breaks down our warmer and drier week ahead.
Welcome back. Another severe clear day out here on the WRAL Azalea Gardens and the patio. It feels really nice. Temperatures have risen into the 60s very quickly. So as you head out the door this morning, probably don't need a jacket anymore. I would have told you differently maybe 2 hours ago. But so far, temperatures starting in the mid 60s for many of you. As we head into the afternoon, still plenty of sunshine, a little bit of haze up high. Temperatures making it into the middle to maybe even upper 80s, especially as you head toward the Sandhills. Great day for the pool, ditto for tomorrow, but Thursday things are starting to change. We'll show you the system right off our coast that's responsible for that, give you more hour-by-hour timing as well, coming up in a few minutes.
What's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? I want to get right to some breaking news right now. We told you a few minutes ago about a crash involving a motorcycle on New Bern Avenue. We have these live pics with the help of photographer Michael Jordan just arrived there on that scene. This is on the New Bern Avenue area, and we're told that a motorcycle crashed into a truck. We're working to get some more information about it. As soon as we learn more, we'll have an update in just a few minutes.
All right, Ken, thank you. Russian and Ukraine met for a second set of direct peace talks in Istanbul. Monday's talks came just a day after Ukraine launched a shock drone attack on Russian air bases. Ukrainian officials said 41 Russian aircraft were hit, including strategic bombers. Russian officials downplayed the attacks. The peace talks ended with no major breakthrough. They agreed to work on a new prisoner exchange, but statements from both sides suggested little was achieved, especially regarding a ceasefire.
Yeah, Michelle, as you said, not a lot accomplished in that meeting. It was about an hour long and exemplified by more of what you're seeing right here. I want to show you this. Ukraine says it has blown up a bridge, a Russian bridge that connects to Crimea. This was an underwater attack carried out. A special operation left that bridge badly damaged. It's the third attack against the same bridge since Russia's full-scale invasion began in 2022. This is a critical supply and transport route for Russian forces, as well as a symbol of the Russian occupation that President Vladimir Putin has pulled off illegally when he annexed that way back in 2014.
All right, thank you, Jeff. SpaceX launched more Starlink satellites into orbit just past midnight this morning.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Falcon.
That's the Falcon 9 you're seeing right there. It launched 23 mini satellites from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, and it happened again around 12:40-ish this morning.
The Carolina Hurricanes are hosting its end-of-season press conference today after being eliminated from the playoffs last week. Head coach Rod Brindamore and general manager Eric Tulsky will address the media at the Lenovo Center. The Canes made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Final before being eliminated by the Florida Panthers.
Super close. The Board of Commissioners in Wake Forest plans to vote on a resolution tonight, and this would call for state leaders to fund a project to widen a key stretch of road that runs into Raleigh. US 1, as you may know as Capitol Boulevard, has been known for congestion in recent years. Well, this new resolution would call on the state to provide funding to begin construction in spring 2027. The path between Raleigh and Wake Forest, that would be the area of focus. WRAL has reported on disagreements with the two sides over whether to create a new toll road on that same stretch of road. But state lawmakers recently shut down that plan. Harnett County residents have a chance to take their questions and concerns directly to one of their leaders tonight. Commissioner Bill Morris is hosting a town hall that's happening at the Anderson Creek Fire Station in Spring Lake, scheduled to start at 6 p.m. if you want to go.
Someone recently asked 5 on Your Side if the state was overcharging them for taxes on their car. Keely Arthur ran the numbers to find out.
The higher the value of the car, the higher the tax bill. And one viewer reached out to 5 on Your Side after he said the state was overvaluing his car and thus he was paying more in taxes. Of course, we had to do our own experiment with a car that is completely unrelated. This car was purchased for $17,000 more than a year ago. Now the state thinks it's worth $20,000. And we asked the Wake County Tax Office where that figure came from.
We do have a statewide system that compiles sales data from across North Carolina, and it's based on the year, make, and model of each vehicle to ensure fairness and equity.
But it's more than just sales data used to come up with those numbers. Tonight on WRAL News, I'm digging deeper into the factors that determine your vehicle tax and show you how you can appeal if you think you're being overcharged. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
The FDA upgraded a serious recall involving tomatoes sold in North Carolina that could be contaminated with salmonella. The ongoing recall involves tomatoes from H&C Farms, distributed by Williams Farm Repack. The FDA's Class 1 warning, it means people could get very sick or even die if they eat them. The tomatoes were distributed to 28 stores in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. If you have these tomatoes, throw them out immediately.
Spending time in the sun is a great way to boost your mood and even get some vitamin D, but you could overdo it and end up with a sunburn. Now, if that happens, doctors say that you want to avoid irritating it even more. Try not to touch the area as much as possible. You should also leave any blisters or peeling skin alone. To treat mild side the sunburns there, experts suggest that you take cool showers and use a gentle moisturizer, and you can also stay well hydrated to help the skin recover. Now, if your symptoms worsen, it's important to seek medical help.
Tennessee has been awarded an unofficial mascot. Time for a look at what's trending.
Behold, the latest internet meme. A missing pet, a zebra. Yes, it has become a sensation in Tennessee and online. That zebra on the loose, well, people can't get enough. Several businesses began posting memes about the area's new hometown mascot. I'm sure someone made a new menu item themed after it. And now that striped sensation needs to hoof it on back home.
Yeah, both the zebra's owners and local police still trying to find that missing animal, still on the run. At one point, authorities even closed down a portion of the highway on Interstate 24 where it was sighted, just trying to wrangle that animal. But the zebra's like, no, I'm loose, I'm free, I'm going.
Of all places you'd think you'd see that, I thought Florida may be it.
I know.
Like, that seems on brand for that
but
state.
in Tennessee,
Okay.
All right.
The zebra. I'm going to call it Kyle. All right. The National Hurricane Center is watching an area east of Florida for possible tropical development. And storms moved through parts of Florida, and they were essentially dumping large hail and heavy rain yesterday. Wind gusts were clocked at more than 60 miles per hour at one point, and several flood advisories and flash flood warnings were issued for parts of Miami-Dade and Broward counties. Heavy rainfall is expected to continue through Wednesday, and I tell you what, that's just something right now that our team of meteorologists has been watching very closely, including Chris Michaels. Chris, I see you right there. You can see some of that activity as you have put on your map there.
Exactly. It only has a 10% chance of getting named, but you've already seen what it's done in Florida. It doesn't necessarily need a name in order to produce some pockets of heavy rain. I'll show you where those pockets are going to be here with Futurecast. So there you have tomorrow evening. The center of the storm is going to be up toward the Florida Panhandle. And again, it's highly unlikely that this gets a name. Clouds will extend off of it into parts of our area. Now, by Thursday, heading into the early morning hours, we'll probably see some rain south of Wake County. This is actually new data coming in on Futurecast. Late morning into the afternoon is when we continue to see some rounds of rain and storms on Thursday. Highest rain totals likely to be farther to the south and east. And we'll continue to update you on this on the WRAL weather app. Click more, click hurricane tracking, and then you'll go to this page here, which is where we post text and video and graphic updates at least 4 times a day to keep you posted on what's developing out there. Again, very low chance of it becoming tropical, but a better chance of rain is starting to show up in the data for Thursday. Right now, starting out with some haze, and it just feels great out here. Temperatures currently in the mid-60s, midday temperatures near 80, high temperatures today in the middle 80s. Around town, Raleigh and Durham at 86, Fayetteville at 87 degrees. Now, high pressure is going to keep all the rain to the south and to the west for today and through most of tomorrow. Severe weather is going to stay off toward the plains and the upper Midwest. So a great day to, no pun intended, to kick off the soccer tournament in Cary tomorrow. We'll start out with morning temps in the 60s and afternoon highs in the mid to upper 80s, although we may take that down a little bit with more cloud cover coming in. Rain chances starting to creep up for Thursday. In between systems Friday, 90s and scattered storms heading into Saturday evening.
All right, thank you, Chris. Before we go to break, here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.